The reach of Jesus' power is massive. In Luke chapter 7, we see that no matter who you are or what your situation, Jesus can reach you and can help you. There's two main examples here in that passage. The first is a centurion. Now, I just want to really make this clear that that centurion is not someone that Luke's readers would have expected Jesus to help. First of all, he's a centurion. He's a Roman. He is not Jewish. He is not part of the kingdom of Israel as far as it's known. He is beyond help as far as Jews are concerned. And they very much see Jesus as a Jewish teacher. And yet the centurion is helped. In fact, Jesus says to him that the centurion's faith is some of the greatest he has seen in the whole of Israel. He is placing this unbelieving foreigner, in fact, a foreign soldier, a foreign occupier, he is placing him above many of God's people. And that shows that Jesus is willing to help people no matter what their background, no matter how good or bad other people think they are, no matter whether or not that person deserves help or has any status. Jesus is willing to help them, and his power is able to help them. That's the first thing. And then secondly, from that, we then go to another story of a widow whose son has died. Now understand that back in Jesus' day, this would have been a big problem. Firstly, she's a widow, so we know her husband is dead, and her son has died as well. So this woman, in a time when women were not allowed to work and not expected to do anything like that, is basically being left destitute. Her husband and her son are both dead. The people that could maybe support her and help her are dead. And yet Jesus reaches into that situation and even says something that might be considered callous. He tells her not to worry and then gives her son back to her. He gives her the strength and security at a time when she thought she'd lost all of it. So Jesus' power is incredible. And why? And it's because of who he is. The final clue to this is what he says to John's disciples when they come up to him. In verse 22, this is what Jesus says to them. He says, "Go back and report to John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, and those who have leprosy are cured. The deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is preached to the poor." Now that might seem like an odd response for Jesus. He doesn't say to them, "Yes, I am the one who was promised." He just quotes that at them. He says that to them. But he's saying, yes, I am the one who was promised, because he's quoting the book of Isaiah that promised God's Savior who would do these things. So Jesus is powerful. He is God's promised. He can help all of us, no matter what situation or circumstance we are in. But it's okay to have doubts. You know, John the Baptist didn't quite know who Jesus was, and he'd met him. It's okay to have doubts. So have a think about all those things today.